This is the Faculty of Education in Cambridge. This is where I come for lectures and also for supervision.
What about that sculpture there behind you?
It's quite poetic, isn't it? It talks about how fried my brains are usually when I'm studying. Oh, let me show you the Great Hall. It's beautiful.
Yeah, can we go in there?
It's like Harry Potter.
Yes. How does it compare to Murray's?
We're at the Genome campus.
Yeah.
Do you want a political conflict? No.
Yo, what's up, people? You know what? Let's go straight into it. I always say the unusual journeys, the unusual pathways that people do take in life makes us always wonder, what is your next step in your pathway that you want to choose? Guys, today, if you are, by any means watching this channel, yes, I've got somebody who has got a very unusual journey, okay? If I say a veteran, it doesn't ring any bell. Okay, hold on a minute. This is an ex-army, soldier, British Army soldier who has done something amazing. We always hear sometimes the negative stories. We always hear, and that's sometimes the reality. Those who are struggling in the community, those who are not able to settle into, civilian life. Let's check out. Let's hold on a minute. The person I'm about to speak to, I'm really interested speaking to black and brown people, okay? Because sometimes their stories never get told. Guys, if you are listening to us for the first time, my name is Nana Essays. This channel is called Black Next Gen. And what we do is, we tell stories about black and global majority people. I have got somebody, from the same background. He joined the British Army. He's doing something amazing. And you know what? Just keep on watching this background. I will definitely, show you where exactly I am by the end of this video. But you know what? I am not going to do the full intro. If this is the first time you're watching us or you've already watched us, why don't you click the subscribe button? Let's grow, let's tell these stories, because we've got these amazing people that you will be seeing and you will be hearing from. Stand by. You know what? I am not going to take that honor by introducing him, because he's got so much accolades. Yeah? Somebody may be referring to as a lecturer. Yeah? Okay. Please introduce yourself to people out there so that they know who exactly you are.
I'm Jerome. Jerome Achitona. That's it.
Okay. Okay, guys, let's go straight into it. Jerome definitely comes with loads of accolades. Okay, his achievements are many. Jerome, tell us a little bit about yourself, because I know one of the things that I've already mentioned out there is you joined the British Army. Yeah, how far ago was that?
I joined the British Army in around 2003.
2003?
Yeah, and I served until 2009.
Okay.
Yeah, so I spent some time mostly in Oxfordshire and Aberdeen.
Okay.
3 rank, fighting 3.
That's interesting. So to all this, there you go. I think we're gonna have a bit of banter here.
The best regiment, the best regiment ever.
Yo, guys, if you are from 3 regiment as an ex-service personnel and you've definitely met Jerome along your way, put in a comment, okay? Equally, if you haven't met him but equally want us to have a bit of banter, let's start the banter in the comment section. Let's get it going straight away. But this is an ex-army. We'll call you what now, a big time a civilian.
Oh,
yeah, good civilian. Okay,
yes,
so let's go into it. Jerome, you served from 2003 to 2009. How was the experience for you?
Yeah, I mean, generally very, very good. I like the structured life. I like the places I was able to go to. As I joined the army, traveled the world, isn't it? Yeah, so I was able to go to Belize. I was able to go to Canada. I went to Iraq. And so these are the in addition to the other lovely places across the United Kingdom that we go on.
Doing exercise.
Lovely exercise.
Oh my God, I don't miss it one bit.
Yeah.
That's interesting, guys. If you don't know or you've not watched any of our videos, I serve myself. I'm ex-army as well, and I think one of the things that we want to capture is these kind of positive narratives. Okay, we serve, but what it means is in terms of our experiences in the British Army, we want to make sure that we share, and I'm sure some people may actually be wondering, do we really have black people in the British Army? And those are the things that we want to put it out there. You see, Jerome and I, we've definitely done our time in service. Okay, so Jerome, during the time that you were serving, you definitely had the opportunity to travel different places. Jerome, tell us about the training. How was it like for you? Huh?
For me, it was quite difficult.
Okay.
I'm not naturally well. I'm averagely fit,
Okay.
but naturally, I don't consider myself one of those fit people. Yeah, so it was a bit of a struggle, but I managed to pass all the tests, the physical test that I was meant to. Sometimes I had to do it again. Yeah, physically I wouldn't say I was a star as far
Okay.
as physical fitness was concerned, but I managed to keep up
Okay.
with the rest of the group, and yeah,
Okay.
it was training was tough,
Yeah.
as you know, but it builds you.
Okay.
It builds you, makes you ready for any eventuality. So yeah,
Okay.
that was I like going to the range. One of the things I enjoyed a lot was going to the range and firing a target. That I was quite good at.
Okay.
So I kind of enjoyed being at the range.
Targets will fall when hit.
Yes.
Oh, my days.
And with me they used to fall.
They always used to
They
fall.
used to fall quite.
Fast forward, was there any particular point in time you felt like giving up in the army?
Or in the training.
Yeah, during the training.
Not really.
Okay.
I was quite focused. I was quite focused on the end game. The end game was to graduate. Yeah, there were times when, especially when you're carrying this load behind you, you're going on the tab, you're carrying this load behind you, and you're asking yourself, "What am I doing here?"
What am I doing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are the times you ask yourself, "Look, maybe I could do something better, or just leave or something." But,
Yeah.
but you know that. You know that there's this saying, "This too shall end."
This too shall
So,
pass, yeah.
This too shall pass.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. This too shall pass. So that was my mantra. Some way, somehow, I need to go through it.
That's great. One of the things that, I have really been interesting, or maybe in terms of Black Next Gen, we've really been interested is the experiences of Black or brown people who have left the British Army. So if you are out there, you've left the service, or you are even still serving, and you want us to be able to interview you for you to tell us about your story, please reach out to us on Black Next Gen, on Instagram, Facebook, within all the social medias, yeah? But definitely reach out to us, let's have a discussion. One of the things that we are really interested is about your transition into civilistry, yeah? How was it like for you when you were actually thinking, I am leaving into civilistry?
I left quite suddenly because I got to a point I just wanted to leave. I got a divorce. So I attended my resignation and signed up. That's what it says, and so I signed up. So during that, when you sign up, you have a year to live. So during that year, I started planning my way, planning what I wanted to do. One thing that I was certain about was I wanted to study. I wanted to go back. I wanted to go to
Hold on
school.
a minute, guys. If you are trying to know where exactly we are today, yeah? We are in Cambridge University.
Okay, so this is the Faculty of Education of the University of Cambridge.
Guys, I can't believe it, yeah? We are in Cambridge University having this interview. Okay, tell us about the transition. Yeah, you definitely wanted to do the studies and what happened.
Yeah. So I and having been in Iraq, there's something I saw. One of my colleagues we had a mortar attack. He was traveling from our camp to work or to one of the shops, and there was a mortar attack. So he had shrapnel in his shoulder.
Okay.
They used X-rays to find some of the shrapnel in his shoulder. So that piqued my interest at the time. I saw that there was this technology that could be used to find such things. So I was interested. I became interested in medical imaging. So I said, well, if when I left the army, I probably would want to do something. I was also keen to study, but in addition to studying, I wanted to study something that would give me a ready job.
Okay.
Once I left, once I finished studying, I didn't want to go and do any dry course that would cause me to struggle to get a job afterwards, because of course when I was leaving I had a family I had to cater for. I had children to look after. So diagnostic imaging, radiography seemed like a very good place to go. So that's what I started working on. So during that transition, I I applied for courses through UCAT and did interviews. So I was offered a few of them, and I settled on the University of Suffolk. I came here for the interview, and I liked the environment. I came to Suffolk, and I like the environment. The campus is by the river. So the waterfront was beautiful. We had people parked there. People had docked their boats over there. So I like and I like the environment, and I like the fact that it was a small course. Well, relatively small compared to other universities, and it had a nice friendly team. So I that's where I went. And did my bachelor's in diagnostic radiography. So the transition wasn't too difficult because the army transition. Army transition is quite detailed. They take you through a whole process. You go to job fairs, and then they show you what is out there, and then you make an informed decision about what you really want to do. If you haven't made your decision yet, I would have thought anyone who wants to leave the army who actually would have known what they want to do before they leave. It is important, guys. You can't just.
That was going to be straight away my next question. As in, what would be your advice for anybody thinking of leaving the service?
You need to plan.
You need to plan.
Don't leave out of emotion. I know there are some things that may cause you to be annoyed. But being emotional can be a disturbance.
Let me push you out there. What do you mean by don't leave out of emotion? Is it because maybe one day you wake up, you are sad, you are leaving? What do you mean don't leave out of emotion?
Or maybe somebody else annoyed. You feel hard done by something, or something has happened, and suddenly you're not happy anymore. You want to resign. That's emotional. You need to be more strategic than that. Yes. Maybe if that's your tipping point, fine. But plan. You have a year to know what am I going to do when I get there? Where am I going to live? You need to make that decision.
Guys, the reality is we were all civilians before joining the army. But I think I don't know whatever happens, but what happens is when you go through the army training, by the time you are ever thinking of leaving the train or leaving the army, it feels like you've been given a different set of brains in terms of how you do things. Your transition from civilistry to army is total different in terms of also your transition from the army to civilistry. It's equally totally different. And that is the reason why if there is anybody out there thinking about leaving the service, you need to be tactical. You need to make sure that you have a plan in place. And possibly people can reach out to such persons, who can let you know how their journeys were. And that's mainly the reason why we have found people like that, to let you know that, people have done it. So you left the army, fast forward, you did your bachelor's. I wish I could spell it all. So you did your bachelor's, you just didn't stop at your bachelor's. You moved further up.
Yes. So after that, I started working in one of the local hospitals in the east of England. And whilst working, I did my master's as well. So I enrolled at Open University. I used my enhanced learning credit.
So that's just another standard support, which is coming from the army as well. And one of the things that we will definitely encourage is make sure you know the support available in the army in terms of the benefits, because people don't use it. So please speak to your chief clerks. And this is not just for people in the army. If you've got family, make sure you get them to, have you found out about accommodation? Have you found out about education in terms of jobs and all that? So you use your enhanced learning credit?
Yes, I use it to do my master's, MSc in science with the Open University. I chose Open University because it was convenient for me, and it was by distance learning. So, So once I finished the master's, an opportunity to lecture became available at the university I attended for my bachelor's.
Guys, drum roll. Yeah, an opportunity
Yeah,
to do what? Say it again.
to
Yeah,
lecture,
go for it.
to teach diagnostic radiography, because by then I was a radiographer, and so I applied for it, and I went for the interview, and I was successful. So I I began to teach from then on until now. I've been teaching at the University of Suffolk as a lecturer in diagnostic radiography.
Yo,
Yeah.
so I'm talking to a sir. Yeah, people will see you.
I'm not upset. Don't do that.
Yo, guys, this is amazing. I'm really enjoying this interview. You know, this is somebody who joined the British Army, not as an officer. And those are the things that I want to continue to drum home. You know, the fact that you may not join as a senior does not mean your abilities cannot be fully utilized. So you left the service, ex-army, leaving the service, which could be
Lance Corporal.
last couple. There you go.
Yeah,
You
but I
know.
picked up though. I was they when they and I picked up as a corporal. But
Corporal.
I never wore it because I put in my resignation, so they didn't give it to me to wear.
So the potential was there in the army.
Yeah.
But when you left, you just didn't, being in that state of maybe emotions, continued with a plan of actually going on to university to study, something that you were interested in. To all the young people out there, I would say if you have the opportunity to make your choices on university courses, don't just settle with what you are given. Make sure you have a plan with whatever course you actually go for. So you went and did your undergrad. Lo and behold, you did your master's, and whilst you were doing the master's, you had the opportunity to be a lecturer. Yo, tell us about it. How was it like being a lecturer?
Well, it has its moment. It's lovely. I've always wanted to teach. I've always wanted to be an. I mean, right back from days in the army, as a lance jack, you're a leader, and so you get to teach those unit, well, private or in the college, and I found that I was able to do that to some extent. I was able to pass on what I knew to people.
Okay.
So I've always wanted to be that person who would be able to pass on knowledge of the system. I studied the Royal Logistics Corps.
Okay.
Okay. And in the Royal Logistics Corps, we use a lot of computer systems to do the supply type thing. And I found myself being able to teach the others quite naturally. So I've always wanted to do that teaching. So yes, fast forward, lecturer at the University of Suffolk. I found it quite interesting. I found it intriguing. I've enjoyed and continue to enjoy doing this role.
Okay.
It sometimes can be frustrating. I don't like paperwork.
Okay.
And you
I hope nobody heard it. Yeah. Go ahead.
I don't like paperwork. I'd rather be in the classroom teaching.
Yeah.
But the job comes with doing paperwork, doing admin stuff and whatnot. Yeah. So it's rewarding, especially on graduation day when you see your students coming through, being given their awards and whatnot. It's very rewarding. And so year in, year out, one would have thought I get bored of it. I never get bored of seeing my students succeed day in, day out. So being a lecturer has opened doors for me. I've been to places that I never dreamt of going. I coordinate exchange programs at the university for my course.
Okay.
So that has meant that I've traveled quite a bit, gone to places like Greece, gone to Italy, Norway, Belgium, because periodically we go for meetings. So I've traveled quite a bit.
You know what? I really can't. I'm trying to imagine the kind of headline that maybe either the army or maybe Ghana may take. Ghanaian ex-army what now becomes a lecturer, or what, guys, put in your comment. What do you think will be the best title for this particular interview? What ex-British Army soldier becomes a lecturer, Guys, we are not going to stop at the lecturing bit because there is more. Yeah, just like I gave you a clue that we are at Cambridge University, the prestigious. And I think I'm really proud, because having black people coming to universities like this, these are the reasons why we do these things. So if you've not subscribed so far, guys, we need to celebrate such people. We need to make sure that our children, our young people see such examples. Okay. So click on the subscribe button, share, and let's see how many likes that we're gonna have for this video. Tell us about your journey. Whilst you were actually lecturing, you are in a position or you are now doing your PhD. Wow.
Yeah. So as part of my career development, I was meant to. I'm supposed to do part of my career development do a PhD because those are the changes that are coming in academia.
Okay.
We have something called the research excellence framework. So the idea is to get everybody to a level where we're doing a lot of competent research. People have the necessary skills like having done PhD or master to be able to actually lead the research and promote your university and really just bring up the standards within academia. So I was, as part of my career development, supposed to do a PhD.
So guys, I'm sure by now you would have noticed that we've changed locations in terms of background. Guys, there was so much background noise. People were definitely trying to gain Jerome's attention. So what we agreed was, let's come outdoors. The weather is definitely warming up, so that we can definitely have a bit of chat just to be able to wrap up. So Jerome, you were talking to us about your PhD journey. Yeah, British Army, left, degree, masters, now PhD. What kind of brains have you got in your head, man?
It talks about how fried my brains are usually when I'm studying.
What kept you going? Tell me.
I guess I just have a thirst for learning. I've always wanted to know more and to learn more. So I felt like it was a natural progression. So when I was doing my masters, I came across this genomics, personalized medicine, personalized healthcare, and I thought that would have been, and rightly so, I thought that would be the future of healthcare. So I investigated how I could learn, I could study more about it, and I realized Cambridge was offering some of these modules, this master's level modules in genetic medicine. So that's what I did. I did a couple of them, about 5 of them, and whilst doing that, I started exploring how I could build on what I'm learning and hopefully do a PhD, because as part of my progression, my career progression, I've been asked to look for a PhD opportunity. So I started thinking about it and investigating, and I was able to find my supervisor, was Professor Anna Middleton. I found her, I spoke to her, I said, look, this is what I want to do. And she said, come and see me, let's talk about it. I went for a meeting at the Welcome Genome Campus, and after speaking, she said, okay, that's your idea seems like a good idea, so let's pursue it. And so that is how I applied through the system and eventually became a PhD student in Cambridge. So that's my journey. It started from this master's modules I did over here in Cambridge, and then it served as a stepping stone for me to go further to do the PhD. So one very important thing. Well, it's quite incidental but quite important. Do not underestimate the power of networks, or the power of using social media networks. Okay. LinkedIn, for instance, I was able to contact my current supervisor through LinkedIn. Okay. I private mailed her through LinkedIn and said, look, I'm doing this course here in Cambridge, and I was wondering if you could be my supervisor on this idea that I had. And a few hours later, she responded and asked me to come and see her at the Genome campus, and that was it. So if you're a budding academic, or you are somebody who is interested in this sort of networking, do not underestimate the power of LinkedIn, because LinkedIn, for me, it worked for me. So LinkedIn is quite
It's also free.
yes,
Yeah.
and it is free. Yeah. So if you don't, I mean, especially you want to get yourself out there in academia, whatever field you want to get yourself out there, if you don't have a LinkedIn account, you might be missing something, because that could be your opportunity to meet somebody within your field, somebody important within your field. So yeah.
And I'm not sure it's even just limited to academia. It's also linked to what? Being in professional roles as well, you know. So equally, if you are thinking about, you know, a particular pathway in terms of career-wise, it will be good for you to get a LinkedIn account, just like Facebook, yeah. Some people will be thinking, oh, Facebook, no, you are old school. Yeah, don't try and judge my age. Yeah, just like I always say. But the reality is that is where you form your networks, and you really, really need it. So think about it. LinkedIn, this is a free advert for you. But you know what, Jerome, let's move on. So in terms of your postgraduate journey or degree that you're doing, what exactly are you doing that on?
Yes. How much time do you have?
Don't worry.
I'm just kidding. So I'm currently looking at the attitude of Ghanaians, the attitude of the Ghanaian public regarding the use of genetic data for healthcare. So that's an attitudinal PhD that I'm doing. So as we know, genetics is becoming mainstream. Mainstream meaning that it's leaving the laboratory and it's really coming to the bedside in the hospitals and whatnot. And conceivably, the next phase of our healthcare is going to be based on everybody on our genetics, on our genome. And we've gotten to a point where genetics has become a powerful tool in healthcare, such that diseases that in the past could not be diagnosed can now be diagnosed with genetics.
Okay.
And also we're beginning to there's something called pharmacogenomics, such that scientists can now predict whether a sort of drug that that would probably be given to you, Nana, whether it will work for you or it will not work for you based on your genes. So
guys, I'm trying it. Yeah, I'm already having a lecture, but I'm having the answers right. So take me there. Make sure you subscribe and put in your comments.
So based on your genes. So the point I'm trying to make is genetic is expanded in its scope, and it's going to be mainstream. However, with the technology that is going forward, it's going faster than what public attitudes. When we talk about genetics, then we begin to think about ethical issues, because there may be people who have religious objections to genetics, or the use of the use of genetics for healthcare purposes. There may people who may have cultural objections to genetic studies. With the use of genetics in healthcare, one could argue that probably is for good purposes. However, if you flip the pendulum, you can think about genetics, the potential for genetics also being used for other purposes other than healthcare.
Okay.
Right now, technology exists for us to be able to edit our genes, to be able to edit the genome. So there's a technique called CRISPR that can be used to edit the genome. So if, for instance, you have a disease and the cause of the disease it can be found to be maybe a particular gene, the technology now exists to be able to take away that gene and put in the correct gene.
Okay.
So that's healthcare. That's to stop a disease probably that could be of very bad effect to people. Now, that technology could also be used for other purposes rather than just healthcare.
Yeah.
You can think of, I mean, just as a crude example, if for instance somebody wanted to build a super soldier, a soldier that does not feel pain, all they have probably have to do is to find somebody who doesn't, as a result of genetic alteration, they do not feel pain. There was recently somebody like that actually on BBC. There's a lady who doesn't feel pain. I mean, she was ironing and she was burning herself. She didn't know she was burning herself. The only way she knew she was burning herself when she began to smell the burning on her skin. The point I'm trying to make is that somebody could use that could to edit a soldier's gene and create a super soldier who doesn't feel pain or get tired and whatnot. So there are a lot of things that ethical issues regarding genetics, and it is important that policies are made in order to make sure that there's appropriate use of this technology.
Okay.
Now, to have such policy, it is important that everybody's voice is heard, and that is why I'm doing this. I'm doing this PhD. I'm taking an existing survey, an existing study that has already been done in a lot of Western countries. I'm taking the study to the Ghanaian community in order to find out our views about genetics, to find out our views about the use of genetics primarily for healthcare purposes. We know that at the moment the genetic databases that we have have a majority of white people's DNA in such databases. We also know that the prevalence of certain diseases can be concentrated among certain ethnicities.
Okay.
Which means that if you have a database that contains the genes of just one sort of ethnic group, it is possible that the conclusions that we come up with might not be relevant might not be reflective of everybody. So it is important that we have, especially in genetics, we have the genes or the genomes of as wide as possible in the community. And unfortunately for us as Black people, we do not usually involve ourselves in such research. And it's one of the objectives of my research as well, to find out why it is that we as a community do not involve ourselves in such research. So I'm opening my PhD involves bringing an existing study called Your DNA, Your Say. I'm bringing it to the Ghanaian community. I'm concentrating on the Akan and also on the Ewe, because for practical reasons, I speak both languages.
Guys, let's test him. Yeah, he needs to prove himself as a Ghanaian, talking about the Akan and the Ewe language. Yeah, give us the vibe. Talk to your people out there so that they can be part of this, survey that you definitely hope to achieve.
Why you want me to speak?
Let's go for it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's your concentration group. Am I right?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I'm concentrating on the on Akan and every other moment. The plan is that I'll extend, after my PhD, I'll extend it to other ethnicities, because what we've done is translated this existing survey called Your DNA, Your Say, and so we are going to, once I've finished with this, I can only manage 2 languages at the moment. I mean, otherwise the project will be too big. So yes, we are going. I hopefully would extend it to other ethnicities and also find out people's views.
You can definitely see that he's a lecturer. Yeah, I am saying to him, speak to your people in that 2 languages. Yeah, so that they can understand you. That is your survey.
Okay.
Go for it.
In Ghana, for me, I a friend of Wawusu Eyawasam, and I say Wawu Sumstem Eyawasam. You perceive who the Ghana for Edwin. A far you use it, and I say, yeah, Wusu, and I say, I will pursue at the year. At the year,
Well done. Okay, let's do the flip. Let's do the Ewe. Whoa, guys, he's definitely cracking it. Well done. Go for it.
mele research there wo ya medibe manya mia Ghana to alo mia video mia fe me se mia fe be ejebe ni mia fe susu na no goma kokuyi atogbu na amono nya alo policy makers ono nya be no isi mile bucho mia fe jojo mekadon alo mia fe DNA ta ehia ta mi jagba na mi apere unya lo akpe.
Guys, listening, I think sometimes you may always think, oh, Nana likes messing about. No, I don't. I love the creativity of language, right? And I think the main reason why I wanted you to be able to demonstrate your ability to speak, those two languages is, Jerome speaks very fluent English, and there may be some people who are saying, you know what, you want me to be part of your survey, yet there's nothing that I can identify that you really understand my community. And just like you've identified in your research, some people who may have done researches do not reflect that same background. So for that reason, if your main focus is Ghanaians, yes, the Ghanaians out there will definitely want you to demonstrate yourself to be a Ghanaian. And it's not just by the language, but it's about you being able to identify with them. So I would definitely put out that appeal out there. If you are a Ghanaian out there, it may not matter whether you speak Akan, it may not matter whether you speak Ewe. But the bottom line is that is, somebody who is trying to do, a research which is about, Black people, which is about Ghanaians. And I'm sure sometime to come, it can be transferred to other parts of the world as well, in terms of what? Black and global majority people. Yeah. Guys, I will definitely say, if there is anybody out there who is thinking, you know what, yeah, Jerome, I definitely want to be part of this research. How can they be part of it? And how can they, let's do the first bit. How can they take part in it?
Yes, so the research is an online survey, and so I mean you click on the link. The website is this rebrand.ly/your DNA. Okay. You see the link on the screen somewhere here. Okay. So when you click on the link, you are going to be faced with this staging page, various languages. Please choose either Ewe or Tree. Please do not choose English because the English survey has already been done across the remainder of the world. This your DNA, your say, has been translated into English. It's been translated into a lot of languages. But what I'm doing is the Ewe and the Tree. So in Ewe it is wo jojo mekadonu wo susu. That is your DNA, your say, and in Tree it is wa ubwe suhu sem eyawasem. So when you click on either English when you click on either Ewe or Tree, it will take you to the respective survey. Now, I've made it very inclusive, such that even for those who may struggle to read the language, there is an audio button to every line. So you just click on the audio button and to be able to read it for you. Okay. So that's very good. Also, there are some interactive videos for each section of the survey, and which also gives you more information about the various sections. So it's very fun, very fun survey, but it really talks about very serious issues, which is our DNA. I've translated it because I believe that it is important that we are able to express ourselves in our own native languages. I believe that there's some knowledge, some new knowledge can be gotten from people being able to express themselves in their own language rather than somebody else's language. So that's the philosophical reason behind me translating this survey into these two Ghanaian languages. Of course, other languages will follow following the PhD.
Guys, if you are a Ghanaian out there, and I'll definitely encourage, that is one of, we'll say that's one of our sons. Yeah, that's how we say it in Ghana. That's one of our sons. The worst thing you can ever think of is, he's studying in Cambridge University. He's definitely one of the numbers. Yeah. If you haven't studied in Cambridge University and he has, why don't you click on that button and support him? I'll just be blunt to it. But yeah, that's the reality. Guys, if you are definitely part of this community, we always sometimes say that people are not inclusive. This is somebody, that's one of us. He's taking the time, and his main focus group is on Ghanaians. These are the two groups that he's working on. People who speak Twi and Ewe. If you can, why don't you support him with this research so that whatever the outcome is will be relevant for people within the same community. If people are looking for maybe reaching out to you to say, you know what, Jerome, you really inspired me on this journey, I want to be inspired, I want to talk to you, I want to take up similar pathways. How can they reach you?
Contact me at Kapwe at iCloud.com. And the Kapwe is 3 F's. So it is Kilo Alpha Foxtrot Uniform India at iCloud.com.
So he's still got the army in him. If you want to reach out to Jerome, I would say it's an amazing journey, especially those of you who are thinking of, university career pathways, who are thinking about choices in regards to university. He's a lecturer. And equally, those of you who want to think about what? A career in the British Army, He's definitely walked the walk. He's definitely understood these kind of different pathways. But what I will definitely put out there as a big appeal is, you know what, guys? Let's support his research, especially those of you who are Ghanaians who can speak these two languages. Make sure, if you can, please go complete that research just to be able to support him complete his PhD. Guys, my name is Nana Essay. For today, I've definitely, we are using Black Next Gen platform to support these amazing people. I'm not sure I'll be able to come to Cambridge, but you know what? Through him,
You can.
yeah, I've done my bit of education. Yeah, I've done it. I'm tired. But the reality is, through him, through, Jerome, I'm here in Oxford, in Cambridge University, and I'm actually loving the vibe. Make sure you click on the subscribe button if you haven't. Make sure you share this video with other people, especially from the Ghanaian community, so that they can support, his research. Jerome, you've done the British Army, you've done your degree, you've done your master's, now working as a lecturer, and now you're doing your PhD. What amazing achievement. I've managed to count all 5 fingers and you clicked it all.
From Forage to Cambridge.
Wow. So this is a soldier who went through all the stages and now working as a lecturer. I'm sure the British Army should capture this and put it on Army Next. Yeah. This is one of the PR for you. I say to the British Army, get in touch with me. I will do some PR for you, especially from our community. Yeah. Let's make sure that we support ourselves. Guys, my name is Nana Essay. If this is the first time you're watching us, make sure you click on the subscribe button. We celebrate Black excellence, and that's mainly we found somebody like this studying in Cambridge University. Jerome, if there is anything you want to say, share your last words with people out there, before we wrap up.
Have a plan and pursue that plan. So I'll address our colleagues in the army. Usually we always have this bad press that we usually get out, and there's homelessness, and we go through difficulties and whatnot. We don't necessarily have to perpetuate that story. We can change that story, but it comes with having a plan. As I said earlier in the chat we've been having, if you wanted to leave the army, don't leave out of emotion. Have a plan your departure, and also look out for the opportunities. If it's a degree you want to do, I'm sure there's funding available in the army to do a degree now through the enhanced learning credit. If you wanted to come into healthcare, there's now a lot of money being pumped into healthcare. A lot of money being pumped into healthcare, into encouraging people who are in the army who are leaving the army to join healthcare. I mean, there are a lot of healthcare courses, allied health courses such as radiography, occupational health. If you wanted to be a nurse, I mean, dentistry. There are a lot of there's
If you want to be a social worker, get in touch with me.
worker.
Yeah, I'll help you. I'll definitely do that.
So there's a lot of opportunity out there. Just look out there. I mean, if you want to go the apprenticeship route as well, there are apprenticeships available, especially in healthcare. I'm biased because I mean, I can only speak to courses that have to do with healthcare, and so the opportunities are there. by all means, speak to somebody. Do your investigations, and civil street doesn't have to be scary, as long as we plan well, and take up the opportunities that are available. So really, yeah, that's what I can say.
That's amazing, guys. It's been amazing meeting, Jerome. We started this conversation over a very long period, and lo and behold, I had to come and find him, today just to make sure that we could get this interviews out of the way. Guys, I am definitely putting it out there, especially to young people, students out there in Ghana. If you speak Tree or ever, guys, make sure make me help them, and that's the whole thing. We don't get nobody where you would do one for us, yeah. And that's the reason why I changed the whole thing. If we won't make Charlie, things will change for us. We get people where and come university, then they study things about us. Make we definitely help them. Go and click on the on the link so that you will help them make you complete this survey.
Yeah. So can I make a clarification? So this is for Ghanaians who reside in the UK. So if you're in the UK and you are a Ghanaian and you are an Akan or you're an Evan, this survey is open to you. I had 2 arms of the study, the Ghana study, which I've already completed. So those who are in Ghana, please don't take this survey. It's only for those who so Ghanaians who live in the UK. This study at the moment is for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jerome, I can't go through the and I make a tree. The reality is, yeah. Oh yeah, but baby, Cambridge University or also see especially as in UK. Bet me, click a button, no, making sure so bet to me, I complete survey, no, send a bay or no bet me any information on here. Especially Ghana for I work from as in UK. Yambo Jerome, no any PhD. At least we are in I bet me a friend a doctor. The brother train you to me, want to me and ya. Jerome,
a boy community, a boy
that's great.
Omuhia so ombetie yakasa ombetie ya adwen so kane no omuye nyama say ya obi amfiye but say ye bie kwan ama ye betumi contribute your views so that omuye policies na they'll include our views as well as the Ghanaian people, even over here in the UK. So, Yambo Modena, Yambo Ana, into me, and push research.
Oh, catch your way, friends. Oh, I'm going to the bell be able to
usually, no mekuku keto be worded. Or maybe an amia a video, Alonia Ghana video. I kept it here, the Honami Mopo, Baby Yatawa, no mekuku keto. I hear better. What's the mere fact? As a mere question, that Njagba, Jagba, name your parent, no mekuku here. Akwe, good man.